Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your TNA news as well as your Bound for Glory results. Homicide, courtesy of Facebook, said dealing with injuries that I got to cancel TNA Impact this week's taping. Hopefully I'll be ready for Chicago and PWS this weekend. And that was from late in September, since they haven't done any TNA tapings lately. And he said also, so please respect talent working through injuries. Jesse Sorensen also says that he's retiring from wrestling as of today in September. I'm officially done with wrestling. This has nothing to do with the injuries. It's a personal choice. Thank you everyone for who supported me. September 16th news, TNA President Dixie Carter was interviewed for a Grantland website. Featured on the company and was asked about the layoffs that occurred a weekend beforehand. We are overstaffed in certain cases, as Carter said. Certain times you have to take a step back to make a massive step forward. Jarrett talked about how the timing was right to leave the company. Carter was asked whether she's fixated on Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling promotion. Not at all, she replied. Not even a bit. Don't know what it is, don't understand it, and don't need to. AJ Styles is quoted by saying that TNA's final contract offered to him was insulting and would have been and has resulted in roughly a 40% pay cut. I hate that we lost AJ, as Carter said. Are you listening? I hate it. I felt like we gave him a great offer. I really did. I felt like we gave him a great offer, and I think he made a mistake. Unquote. Carter also commented on fans who say that and hope that TNA does go out of business. All these people say, I hope you go out of business. Why would you ever want that? She said. You don't think we make wrestling better just by exposing more people and giving people more options? It's the best ludicrous, short-sighted thing. The sheer absurdity and stupidity and it blows my mind. I feel sorry for the wrestling business if we're not around. Read the full piece at Grantland.com. The story also features several quotes from Vince Russo, Jim Cornette referring to Russo as a cancer, Bobby Roode, Joey Ryan, John Gabbert, and others. It's a good read and chronicles some of the TNA's issues. Not sure if any good can really come out of it, as for TNA, since the piece focuses heavily on their various issues, which many casual viewers may not have seen or been aware of. Aside from talent departing, Spike TV once again would not comment on rumors that they are dropping TNA at the end of the year, and instead pointed on to ongoing negotiations. Former WWE wrestler Brodus Clay just recently appeared at the Impact Wrestling TV taping in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. A nice addition for TNA. Here's hoping that they push him like a monster rather than a funk comedy act. Well, from the viewing of the recent event this past Thursday, it was definitely kind of a comedy act, but he's now a bodyguard. Bully Ray was at TNA Impact Wrestling TV taping in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and is scheduled to wrestle. No word yet as whether Ray has signed a short-term deal with the company, but his actual contract is up. If nothing else, it's good news for TNA, as they will be able to pay off their tag team series involving Team 3D, the Wolves, and the Hardy Boys, as they've already did that, and the Wolves retain the tag team championship. Havoc defeated Gail Kim to win the Knockouts title at last week's taping in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The match did air on October 1st. Madison Rayne then later defeated Taryn Terrell and Angelina Love to become the number one contender to Havoc's belt. Damian Richards also there and has recovered enough from his leg injury that he worked the tapings as well and finished the series. And then, of course, they won. They retain the tag team titles. If they don't tape a full Metal Mayhem match as they did with Team 3D and the Wolves, Hardy's will likely happen at Bound for Glory, but it did not happen. as the Team 3D faced the Japanese tag team. James Storm and forgotten who. Well, you'll find out later. September 25th news. Mickey James and Magnus announced the arrival of Donovan Patrick Aldis to the world. Unknown of his actual birthday, but when the news was passed, by the way, I predicted my birthday wasn't much off by a week. September 26th news. TNA President Dixie Carter addressed the locker room regarding the company's TV situation at one point during the multi-day TV tapings in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Wrestlers were told that she believed that they had some TV home by January 7th and expressed happiness with Impact airing on Wednesday nights. Multiple TNA sources believe a new TV deal could be announced as early as this week, though one source believes it could be closer to Bound for Glory, but now it's a week after Bound for Glory in October, and before finalizing, it's hasn't been finalized. Most popular network name floating around TNA locker room is WGN America. Feeling of some within the company that Dixie may have dropped a hint and negotiation with WGN back on September 10th. Nothing like showers and high winds to impact traffic and my hair in the Windy City. This morning, as she wrote on her Twitter page, while there's no telling what she was doing in Chicago that day, the locker room speculation stems from the fact that WGN America is owned by Tribune Media Company, which is based in Chicago. The Velocity Network has also been rumored, and Spike TV has publicly claimed to be in negotiation with TNA. October 3rd news, TNA issued the following press release to ProWrestling.net regarding a pair of new TV deals. Not in America though. Both TNA Impact Wrestling and TNA Explosion will air on Channel 111 on Singtel Mio Sports 1 across Singapore. Impact will air on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. with a repeat on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Explosion will premiere on Friday nights at 11 p.m. with a midday repeat on Sundays. Fans should check local listings for full details. TNA Explosion will also air on TV9 in Malaysia every Monday night at 11 p.m. Dixie Carter also said that we are delighted that wrestling fans in Malaysia and Singapore can now join in Japan, Thailand, and 120 other countries around the world and enjoying the very best of professional wrestling each and every week. Asia is set to be a key growth market for our company over the next 12 months, and working with our partners across the continent, we hope to announce even more good news soon. Sharina Norden, Group General Manager for TV3 and TV9, said, TV9 is proud to screen TNA Explosion, a new sports program aired for the first time in Malaysia. The program will attract modern and open-minded young, fresh mass Malays who love wrestling. We are confident that this program, which aired every Monday at 11 p.m., will reach a larger number of viewers. Anurag Dahia, head of content at Single Mio TV, says, we are delighted to bring TNA Impact Wrestling and Explosion to the fans in Singapore. TNA joins a world-class Singtel Mio TV sports lineup. Our customers can now catch TNA's top-rated wrestling shows in addition to their favorite sporting action, such as UEFA Champions League and Europa League football games on Mio Sports. Then Dixie's line about hoping to announce even more good news soon is the most interesting part of the press release. Several people within the company have expressed their belief that new TV deal in the United States will be announced soon. October 8th news. During a recent interview with Live Audio Wrestling, AJ Styles said the following regarding his back injury. I would love to tell you it was $1 million at some point. It's worrying me. I'm feeling pretty good right now and getting the chiropractor and seeing what was going on. To be perfectly honest, I think I have to get adjusted, and to get adjusted a lot more, you have to take care of yourself, and I took some time off. I went to the chiropractor and massage. That stuff you have to do as a professional wrestler to keep going. Regarding TNA's ongoing TV negotiations, Networks are leery on the TNA product, not just because it's a pro wrestling, but because it has a negative stigma on being a product that Spike TV has dropped. Even when the ratings weren't that bad, it was said that reports are wondering what is the catch and why would Spike drop a program that was drawing between 1 million and 1.4 million viewers each week. Word from the TV industry is that Spike is dropping TNA because they don't have the confidence in TNA's leadership to grow the company. In addition to that, numbers have been declining and the whole Vince Russo debacle was once again brought up this week. Spike denying the Russo issue publicly, but it's no secret that Russo was a big part in Spike finalizing their decision. October the 8th news, TNA recently made a play for CM Punk. This was done similar to how they reached out to Alberto Del Rio through an intermediary who was friends with Punk. The idea pitched was said to be a huge deal for Punk to be the top star of the company, but with pay similar to what Hulk Hogan was making. The idea is that Punk could be TNA's flagship star. If he signs now, he could help get a strong TV deal. Punk reportedly expressed no interest in working in pro wrestling again. Thanks to the credit from PW Insider. Wrestle Talk TV recently interviewed former WWE, WCW, ECW, and TNA wrestler Raven, who discussed some of the biggest career regrets, his personal demons, and going through therapy. And here are some of the highlights of a video. Well, highlights from a video on the interview. Raven on one of the biggest regrets from his career. I wish I wouldn't have burned so many bridges. I wish I would have played ball better, strictly from a career aspect. And then Raven, yep, I'll post a link right there for you. Raven on the therapy has helped him, and how more wrestlers should do it. Frankly, I think everybody needs therapy, especially the boys. The boys are artistic, and the ring is the canvas. No pun intended. You have to be the creative and the artistic to be good at this because they're athletes. They're trained to ignore emotions and anything that goes with it. So you have these creative people with no outlet for their emotion. So what you get is a lot of drug use, a lot of negative behavior, and a lot of BS. If they were all forced to be in therapy at least once a month, I guarantee you'd have healthier, better adjusted workers. And again, more at the video link. TNA star Bobby Roode on the company's future. His greatest asset as a wrestler, singles wrestling compared to tag team wrestling, and much more. And what goes on? What goes into adding a new signature move? Ring Rust Radio with Bobby Roode, hosted by Donald Wood, Mike Chikari, and Brandon Galvin. Available at blogtalkradio.com/Ring Rust Radio. Commented on TNA's future on Spike TV and beyond. I think the Wednesday night move is a great idea, especially this time of the year, trying to compete with NFL football games on Thursday nights. Without going to a different network, I think going to Wednesday nights, now there isn't any serious competition on those nights. I think the adjustment has gone quite well. We didn't expect the ratings to be good so fast. I think overall it was a great move, and I hope in the future we will continue to go Wednesday nights. Roode on his greatest asset or skill as a professional wrestler. I'd like to say my passion and my love for the sport over time business itself has evolved and changed most seemingly every year. I've been able to adjust and change my style and adapt to whoever I'm in the ring with. Whether it's a smaller, faster guy like Austin Aries or a bigger guy like Lashley, I'm able to adjust my style and change with time to speak. Time, so to speak. I study a lot of tapes. I have the passion for the business, and I've always wanted to be the best ever since I got into the business. I have a love for the sport and just want to be the best in it. At the end of the day, when I hang up my boots for the last time, I hope I have the respect from the other wrestlers and fans who enjoyed my matches and thought that I was one of the best. Rude then commented on whether the recent emphasis on tag team wrestling in TNA has given him the itch to return to tag matches. Comments are quoted by, "My main focus right now is being a singles competitor and being the world champion. I love tag team wrestling, and I came into TNA as part of a tag team with Team Canada. Being a part of Beer Money was one of the greatest parts of my career so far. When James and I were part of Beer Money, there was a lot of great tag teams we could run with. Looking back, teams like Motor City Machine Guns, Main Mafia, British Invasion, Team 3D, and there was a lot of great tag teams. Since the point, the tag team division has fizzled until recently. The Hardys, Team 3D, and the Wolves coming off the Full Metal Mayhem match. It was such an unbelievable match, and those guys putting everything on the line, it definitely brings back some memories of tag team wrestling." And then he comments on whether he has preferred singles or tag team wrestling over the years. Quoted by saying, "I think, to me personally, they both have the positives and effects on my career thus far. To be able to be the best at tag team wrestling and an individual star, it means a lot. As a part of tag team at the time in TNA, with such great tag teams and having tag team titles at the time, with all those other teams around us, meant a lot. I like to think James and I became one of the greatest tag teams of all time during our tenure together. Holding the World Heavyweight Championship is something that you can't put into words, and being able to hold on to it as long as I did is something that I'm extremely proud of." Rook on whether he approaches or prepare tag and singles matches or storylines differently. There's not a lot of differences really. I've been doing this for almost 17 years now, a little over 12 with TNA. I approach every match the same, whether it's a tag team, singles, 6-man, 4-way, whatever the case may be. I always mentally and physically prepare for matches the same, so there was no difference. Rue comments on whether he ever feels a need to address the other wrestlers when a negative report comes out regarding the company. I guess in a way I could be looked at in a locker room as a locker room reader, unless someone comes up to me and asks me on an opinion on something. I don't usually go and talk to anybody or say how I feel about things. I just try to focus on what my job is, and my job is to go out there every week and put on great matches with great storylines, and to be the it factor every Wednesday night now with all the behind the scenes stuff and rumors. It's just that, rumors. As far as the locker room and I are concerned, the negotiations are ongoing, not only with Spike, but a bunch of other networks. Everything's a positive. There's been nothing shown by Dixie or the TNA offices that would make us think that things are going bad, or it's positive, and our show on Wednesday night has reflected that positivity. On people's feeling that he is the franchise in TNA, a lot of pressure on myself. I am my own worst critic. It's a good thing, I guess. I got into business to be the best, and I'm going to continue to try to be the best. If I'm out there for 5 minutes in the ring or 30 seconds backstage interview or a 20-minute match, I'm going to try to make my segment of the show the best it can be. I am a perfectionist like most everybody else in the business. I'm hard on myself sometimes, but I always want to get better. I study tapes of guys and different wrestling all over the world, and I always want to get better. I think that's the key to being the best in the business. Rude comments on feuds that stand out during his career. I've been blessed to have a lot of great moments in this company. Right off the top of my head, the run with James and Beer Money being so successful is one. Taking a nothing tag team and turning it into something big is something that I will always remember. My matches that I had with Aries, I love working with Austin Aries, and I hope to work with him again someday. I think one of the things that sticks in my mind is the matches with Kurt Angle. In my opinion, he is the best wrestler that has ever been pound for pound. He can wrestle. He can go every night. Never had a bad match. He's entertaining and can do anything. I was able to go out there and compete with Kurt, and stay at his level. I just really enjoyed our matches. I love the professional wrestling aspect of it. It was a special moment being able to wrestle with Kurt and be on his level and have a great match. Comments on adding the Rude Bomb and what goes into adding a new signature move. Nothing more than an attitude adjustment, in my opinion. Wrestling evolves all the time, every day, every week, every year, every month. You got to keep up with the times to be successful. You look at guys like Kurt Angle, and he's got the angle slam and the ankle lock. I've also incorporated a submission move, and there's different variations to my game now, and making things more exciting. I was using the payoff for a while, and I just wanted to change it up a little bit. I wanted to make my moves more impactful and make a little more believable. Rude Bomb has been one of the things that I have added to my repertoire and has been working, and I believe it's starting to get over. The fans can recognize it, and that's one of the most important things. When fans can start to recognize your moves and you start to go for a move and the fans react to it, and when you know it's working, it's worth noting that during well, that was the end of most of the highlights of Bobby Roode. It's noted worth during the pay-per-view match at Bound for Glory match with Kazuma Sakamoto versus the MVP match. Mike Tenay mentioned WWE and Tensai character by name. When Sakamoto made his way out, Sakamoto debuted in April 2012 on WWE TV as Tensai's assistant, but later disappeared and was soon released. Well, it was like 2 months. A lot of talk about the TNA Bound for Glory, even though it was taped, of how many Teams 3D made a challenge to New Japan Wrestling's Bullet Club on a Wrestle 1 promoted event. Apparently there were 2 mentions of Bullet Club from 3D during the show. This indicated that Bully Ray's recent tweet on going for other tag team titles was referring to New Japan. There's also speculation that it could mean 3D is going to work for Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling, which is working with New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. It was also announced that at the pay-per-view that Matt Hardy will be working for Wrestle 1's November 1st event, which is the 30th anniversary show for the Great Muta. Alberto Del Rio will also be there, as he's also advertised. One fan in attendance at Bound for Glory said that the show was good, but there was zero reason to order the pay-per-view for the TNA fans. And by the way, they're advertising it on YouTube for $39.99. I wouldn't pay for it because you got the results right here and also results everywhere around the world. But you get the full pay-per-view. There were some fans standing in the crowd at Bound for Glory, which indicated a sellout. Not much of a big venue anyway. TNA's Bob Ryder noted on Twitter that the event was sold out. One fan noted it was overcrowded. And there were some photos I did not get passed along to me since the results. Pictures wouldn't load, whoever sent them. So I had to get back with them. Maybe I'll try and send them. I'll post them on my Facebook page. And they hosted a video package on Team 3D's Hall of Fame induction that aired on Wednesday's episode of Impact Wrestling and seen during the Bound for Glory. The two were inducted by Tommy Dreamer and presented with a Rolex, both with Rolex watches. Many known Japanese wrestling stars were in attendance for the induction ceremony, including former ECW star Masato Tanaka. There were jokes during the TNA Bound for Glory commentary about Mike Tenay being Kaz Hayashi's agent, because Tenay is actually the one who got the former WCW on the card. At the TNA booking meeting for Bound for Glory, officials were trying to figure out who to put in the match with Joe and Low-Key in case Joe's shoulder wouldn't go. I lost my spot. Okay. Since he was having problems with his shoulder, and Tenay recommended Hayashi. Wrestle One officials loved the idea, loved that Tenay even knew who Hayashi was, and the decision was made to put him in the match. Some of the TNA talents are expecting a big announcement real soon, likely a new TV deal. In the next 7 days, there's also a lot feeling that they do not have a new deal signed, even after Bound for Glory. Dixie Carter tweeted the following after Bound for Glory went off the air. What an end to an amazing Bound for Glory. Thank you, Japan. At W_1_official. All of our fans and talented wrestlers. Should we go next? Taz, Mike, and Tenay were also at the TNA headquarters and apparently did live commentary at the taped broadcast. It was originally believed that they would record their commentary earlier in the afternoon. Well, after being taped, it was probably done Sunday. Samoa Joe noted on Twitter that earlier this week that his father passed away. Of course, after Bound for Glory, condolences go out to him and his family. Joe tweeted the following on Monday, the day after Bound for Glory. It has been rumored that Joe's contract is also expiring, as he wrote. Very reflective after this past show. At the risk of sounding unintentionally cryptic, I am hopeful for what the future holds. And now for your Bound for Glory brief results from the Korakuen Hall from Tokyo, Japan. Results courtesy of Puroriso Spirit, of course, main Japanese. I caught it after it came on at 6 o'clock. I was thinking normal time, 7 o'clock. Well, guess what? That's what I get for thinking. First match, Minoru Tanaka defeated Manic. Match number 2, Ethan Carter III defeated Ryota Hama. Match number 3, MVP defeated Kazuma Sakamoto. And that was the match that started right around the time that I came in. I think it was about 45 minutes into the first hour. Samoa Joe defeated Low Key and Kaz Hayashi to retain the X Division Championship. Yeah, because I was watching the Dallas Cowboys whoop up on the recent team. Even though in the first quarter, quarterback Tony Romo got crap knocked out of him. Samoa Joe, match number 4, defeated Low Key and Kaz Hayashi to retain the X Division title. Match number 5, Hiro Ikemen, Kuroshio, and Yusuke Kodama defeated Andy Wu and El Hijo del Pantera. And they were calling Tenay and what's the name? Must have been Ric Flair's godson or whatever. And who? The woo! Doing the woo chants. Match number 6, Team 3 defeated Tommy Dreamer and Abyss. So there's your tag team that I couldn't think of earlier. Match number 5, your women's title holder, the knockout title holder, Havoc, retained against Velvet Sky. Match number 8, Great Muta and Tajiri defeated James Storm and Great Sonata. And that was your whole pay-per-view. I'm sure most of these matches were fantastic. But I can't say the results are that inspiring. Team 3D also challenges the Bullet Club at the end of the pay-per-view, which is New Japan's group and not a Wrestle One group. But maybe that won't air, which it did on the pay-per-view, as well as this past week's Impact. And that concludes my results for Bound for Glory. Thanks again. Peace out. God bless. Say what will be you. If you don't know, you better call me, bro.